All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen here in the future of the MCU after the ramifications of both Loki season 2 and the end of the Marvels with the mid-credit scene. So, before we go any further, this video may contain spoilers. We're going to talk about leaks that have come out and information coming out about the future of the MCU and where they're going. So, if you don't want any spoilers, this is not the video for you. However, please be aware that the information here may also not be correct because these are internet leaks. Now, there's a couple things I want to discuss first of all. And also, if you haven't seen the finale of Loki, definitely watch it. Right? Definitely watch it. The Marvels, I did not give it a positive review. The mid-credit scene for the Marvels is important and it's out there if you look for it. It's out there. I mean, it's leaked. It's there. But Loki's much more important. Now, before I get into like this leak and what I found out or whatever, what the information I have here, I want to discuss briefly what happened to Loki at the end of the episode. So, Loki, a lot of people are saying that Loki's become the god of stories. This is all based on a comic book storyline where Loki was able to do a very similar story. Loki was able to become so powerful that he could rewrite events in the Marvel universe, right? In the Marvel multiverse, that is. I don't believe that's how far they're going with this. I believe that Loki now is the god of time. I believe Loki has not only replaced He Who Remains, but also replaced the Loom in that he's holding together and binding together the multiverse. So he's an important figure in all of this. He's now become a god, which is what he's always wanted, and now a literal god in that he's pretty much destined to be alone, which is what Sylvie was talking about and what they were talking about all throughout the show of Loki. But he has glorious purpose, as they say, and that is to bind together the multiverse. So now there won't be well, there might still be incursions, but there won't be deleted, there won't be branches of the timeline being deleted because now the TVA's new mission is to find Kang variants. So this information here, I was told a while ago, and I was from a Twitter account, but I don't remember where it was at, but I wrote it down. So, Avengers 5 is Kang Dynasty, Avengers 6 is Secret Wars. Now, I want to go into more detail than what I wrote here, but Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, the way that it's set up right now, this could all change depending on what happens with Jonathan Majors and his court case. So please be aware that the information here might not be the finalized story. So from what I understand, what's supposed to happen in Kang Dynasty is there is an invasion from the Council of Kangs, Immortus, Centurion, and Ramatut, along with other variants of Kang, and they actually beat the main Avengers team. Now, what is the main Avengers team? I wasn't given specifics, but they're basically people that you've already seen in the recent movies. People like Spider-Man, people like Captain Marvel, people like Doctor Strange. Not Captain America or Tony, not them because they've been written out in Endgame, but like the new Black Panther, his sister. These characters are all going to get whipped by the Kangs, and then in Avengers 6 and there's a reason why I'm talking about all this. Avengers 6 is Secret Wars, and what's supposed to happen is multiversal Avengers gathered by Loki to come together to beat Kang. So the idea is that they're going to do a similar formula to what they did for Infinity War and Endgame, where if you remember in Infinity War, it was a Thanos-focused movie, and in that movie is, the Avengers lose. He gets the Infinity Stones, all of them. He snaps, and many of the Avengers, almost all of the heroes, end up getting dusted. Well, in this version, the Kangs beat the main Avengers team, and I believe they're actually captured. I think I remember hearing they were captured in some kind of time prison. And then what ends up happening is in Avengers Secret Wars, Loki, because it's going to have a cliffhanger ending, and then Secret Wars picks up with Loki gathering together different Avengers from different parts of the timeline, but not just MCU stuff. He's going to go into the X-Men timeline, the Spider-Man timeline. So that's when we're going to see characters like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's version of Peter Parker come back. We may see Deadpool. Basically, he's going to go through all of Marvel history, maybe multiple variants of the Fantastic Four, not just MCU Disney stuff, like I said, the Sony stuff, the stuff with that they got from Fox, and that's going to create a new group of multiversal Avengers. Not the same ones from What If. This is a different group, and they're going to be the ones that come together to beat Kang. Now, there's more information that's coming out about this that I want to discuss. Okay, now once again, I want to repeat. I'd be fine with this story, but I want to repeat, this may not be the finalized story. It may not be all. And like we talked about, the Jonathan Majors thing, that's something else. And also, this is a very basic, this is not the whole plot of the movie. As far as I know, there's a whole other plot going on with them creating a new Earth and a new universe. And there's also something with Doctor Doom they have planned. So once again, this is only a small bit of information. This is not the entire movie whatsoever. There's just a small bit of information. Now, I'm going to head over to Twitter where Alex Who Remains, who's a well-known leaker, wrote the following, and I'm going to go into this here. He says, you guys know what you've been saying Loki will do after season 2? Bring together the Avengers, see Thor, help on the fight against Kang and his variant, do so that, but for Sylvie. So he's basically saying that we have not seen the end of Sylvie, and that now that Loki is holding together the branches of the multiverse, that's his job. He's going to be there, and Sylvie, that variant of Loki, is going to be the one, because remember, she has He Who Remains as Tempad. She might not be able to jump through time at will like Loki or freeze time, but she has He Who Remains as Tempad. So Sylvie may end up being the one to gather together the multiversal Avengers to beat Kang. I like that. It means that the Loki show has glorious purpose, no pun intended. The events of the Loki show are important, but I'm not done. There's one more tidbit here from Alex Who Remains. He says, I'm indicating, because the question is, how Spider-Man 4 released in summer 2025 when it won't enter into production until late 2024, rumored. He says, I'm indicating where Sony currently has it slated, and they have chosen not to move that date when Venom 3 was pushed. Yeah, everything's getting pushed back because now that the strike is over, they can start making these things, but things are going to get pushed back. For example, next year, the only MCU movie in theaters next year is going to be Deadpool 3. That's it. So we're going to have a year with just one movie, and I'm okay with that because they've got a lot coming out already. Therefore, Sony thinks it has a chance to make that release date. Second, this film has to release some point after DDBA and before Kang Dynasty. So DDBA is Daredevil, Born Again, and Kang Dynasty. So that means that this Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, the MCU one, is going to somehow figure Daredevil into it. There's going to be some kind of story in Daredevil, maybe with the Kingpin, but also has to be before Kang Dynasty. You got to remember that Kang Dynasty is like 3-4 years away, and it may still get pushed back. So there's still a lot of movies they have to toss in there. We still don't know what's going to happen with the Fantastic Four. Tons of rumors there about that. But it does legitimately seem like things are getting back on track. I think that the Marvels, hopefully with Deadpool 3, the mistake that was made in the Marvels won't happen again. And hopefully from now on, the movies will be refocused and we'll get a good little multiversal arc. Again, it all depends on what happens with Jonathan Majors if they pivot over to Doctor Doom. I don't think it's a good idea to do that unless the dude really is found guilty. I understand that if that happens, but Kang is a tremendous villain, and I think Major's performance in Ant-Man and in Loki have all been great. He's a great actor. Those are my thoughts, y'all. Take care. See you soon.